Welcome. My name is Professor Marilyn Rubin. I'm the director of the MPPA Program, and this is Professor Ned Benton, who is director of the MPA-IG or Inspector General Program, and Ned is also the chairman of the Department of Public Management. At CUNY, programs are not freestanding. They have to be in a department, and so we're in the Department of Public Management. And Ned is, so Ned wears, he'll run around the room and he'll go from one hat to the other. How many of you are graduates of John Jay? Okay. Other CUNY schools? CUNY? Other? Where else you graduated from? Where are you from?
American University.
Where?
American University.
West Virginia University.
New Rochelle. Law School, Cairo, Egypt.
Okay.
Law School, Cairo, Egypt.
In Cairo. Oh, wow, welcome. It's a long trip. Others?
St. Francis College.
Mercy College.
Okay. So I have a lot of friends in American, actually, American University. Yeah. Well, for those of you from John Jay, you'll know that everything at John Jay is referred to by number. So when you hear 700, that's going to be PAD 700. So just sort of get used to hearing numbers thrown around. Okay. So what? How many? Is there anybody who has not yet registered? Okay, the rest of you have registered. Okay. What I'd like to do is talk to you about the program, about the college in general. And what Ned is handing out to you is the MPA advising worksheet. What this is going to help you do is really, in the very beginning of the program, because obviously where you all are now, is going to help you all really put together what you're going to be doing and when over the next couple of years. Are any of you full-time? Anybody full-time? Okay. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to talk about basically the degree requirements and the required courses. And then Ned will talk to you about the required courses in the inspection and oversight program. But there are just sort of some things I'd like to tell you in general. In order to graduate from our program, you need a 3.0. A 3.0, not a 2.9999999, but a 3.0. And you need 42 credits. Each of our courses is 3 credits. And each of our courses meets once a week. We have 4 different really modalities. Courses taught here at John Jay College in this new building. I've only taught here once in this building. We have courses that are taught here at the college on Saturdays, and we refer to that as our Saturday program. There are some students who complete their entire program on Saturdays. Our courses are generally taught starting at 4:20. Occasionally we teach a course earlier, but generally our courses start at 4:20, 4:20 to 6:20, 6:25 to 8:25, 6:20 to 8:20, and then 8:25 to 10:25 in the evening. So we have, please. MPA?
Yes.
You all found us?
Yes.
I know. We apologize. We have nothing to do with it. So you need 42 credits to graduate. Of those, 27 credits, or 9 courses, are required courses, and I'll run through them with you. The other courses are either in your specializations, which I'll discuss, or electives. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the degree requirements. And this is, do all of you have this now? Everybody have this? If you look, the pages are not numbered. But if you look under, someone's going to say MPA advising worksheet. You see that? By the way, you have the privilege of paying slightly more in tuition than all the other graduate students here at John Jay. That is your privilege. for the MPA students. This is in all of the MPA programs in CUNY. Starting last year, there was something called a differential tuition imposed. Some of you, I'm hoping all of you will know that many of you will be eligible for financial assistance to cover that, and Ned will speak about that in a few minutes. Because if you're going to apply for it, it has to be done rather quickly. But with that differential tuition, we are trying to do things for our students. One of the things we're doing with the money is trying to help students who will find it financially difficult to pay that. So that's one of the things we're doing. Another thing that we're doing is we have set up something called MPA Advising, which Ned will also discuss, where we have people who are advisors only to our students, only to MPA students, and so you will be going to see them, and they will be working with you on your program for the next couple of years, however long it's going to take you to complete the 42 credits. The other thing we're doing with that money, and our students love this actually, is we have bought textbooks for all of the required courses. And you can borrow those books from the library for the whole semester, just as you would borrow a regular book from the library. And the only thing you can't do, obviously, is write in it. But you can borrow. So if you're going to take 3 courses this semester, Public Administration 700, which is our basic course, and 2 other courses, the main textbooks for those courses will be available to you free of charge. And you're just asked to return them at the end of the semester in the same condition that you received them in the beginning of the semester. And so that's another thing we've done with the differential tuition. The other thing we've done, which we're very excited about, is we have career advisement only for MPA students. And so there is a career counselor that is available to you to go to anytime. She is available, again, only for MPA students. So we have used this money. The reason there is a differential tuition is another part of CUNY, whose name I will not mention, but the other only CUNY MPA located in, well, one of the 2 located in Manhattan, below us, wanted this differential tuition in place, and in order for them to have it, we all have to do it. And so we're trying to utilize it to the best of our ability to help all of you. And we've actually done surveys of students about what services they would like. So those are the different things that we're doing. Also, there are conferences, many professional conferences. For example, there's an organization called the American Society for Public Administration, ASPA, and they have conferences every year. And we have several students that we have helped financially to attend these conferences with this money. So there are a number of different services that we are offering you with the privilege you have of paying your extra tuition. And I think that you're going to talk about a few of these also when I finish. Okay. But I'd like to review the degree requirements with you. You'll notice, again, it talks about required courses. The first one is Public Administration 700. PAD 700, that's our introductory course. And in that course, at the end of the semester, there's also an examination given. It's called the MPA-QE. And that is not, it's really an exam that we give to make sure that you're prepared to continue on in the program. And so you'll be hearing a lot about that exam. It's an exam where we give you an article to read, and then we ask you to write about that article. You're not required to have a great storehouse of knowledge because it's given in the very first course that you take. And so that will be one of the things that will happen in that course. The second course that you're all required to take is PAD 702, which is Human Resources Management, which sounds just like what it is. It's basically the course we used to, when we were in graduate school, we called personnel. It's really about the human resources component of public service. When we talk about public service today, we talk about government as well as the nonprofit sector. We're talking about basically public service in general. How many of you work for nonprofits? For government? Okay. Economics for Public Administration is another course you're required to take. There is a waiver. There is a waiver for this course if you have taken 3 or more courses in economics as undergraduates and you have received a B or better in each of the 3 courses, or obviously if you were an econ major. And so if you have that requirement, then you can come to us and we can give you a waiver. Now when you get a waiver, what that means is you don't have to take that course, but you have to take another 3-credit course, so you have 42 graduate credits, because undergraduate courses cannot be counted towards a graduate degree. But you can do that. Also, well, I'll come back to that in a minute. The next course is PhD 705, which is Organization Theory, which is a course that looks at the history of organizations, how organizations function or don't function. For those students who are going to be enrolled in the Inspector General program, there is a variation on that course, which Professor Benton will talk about, which looks more at how organizations don't function, so the dysfunctional agencies. But it's a similar course. PhD 739, by the way, PhD 700, 702, and 705 are taken by all students, whether you're in the Public Administration and Public Policy program or the Inspection and Oversight program. All students take those 3 courses. There's variation in some of the others. PhD 739, Policy Analysis, is another course that's taken by students in Public Administration and Public Policy. PhD 743, Public Sector Financial Management, which is one of the courses I teach, is a course that's very apropos of today, because we look at government budgets, we look at things like deficits, and that's another course that's required for people in the Public Administration and Public Policy program. The people who are in the Inspection and Oversight program will take a different course, but this is required of everybody else. PhD 771, the MPA Capstone, is another course that's required of everybody, regardless of which program you're in, and that's basically our culminating course where students will work on a specific policy project or a similar kind of project. It's not a master's degree, it's not a master's thesis, it's a very applied kind of project. And that is, again, the culminating course, basically taken at the end or very close to the end of your MPA career. In addition to those courses, everybody is required to take research methods, another course that I teach. In order to take research methods, you have to have had an undergraduate course in statistics and passed it. And so if you have not yet taken an undergraduate statistics course, before you can take this course, you must complete that. It doesn't have to be taken here at John Jay. It can be taken anywhere, and you can take it pass-fail. You have to pass the course in undergraduate statistics. You have to take then one of 4 courses in quantitative methods and information management. PhD 713, which is the management of information and technology. PhD 705, which is program evaluation. PhD 747, which is computer applications and public policy and management. And PhD 770, which is cases and techniques and quantitative policy analysis. There's no prerequisite for either PhD 747 or PhD 713, but we assume some computer skills. We were just talking about this earlier today when we began teaching here. I've been here 25 years. I think Ned's been here longer than that. We won't say how much longer. But most people didn't even know how to turn a computer on. And so the course has really evolved over time, and it's still evolving now. It's still evolving now. If you have a degree, if you have 12 undergraduate credits in computer courses, or a degree in computer science, you can request a waiver for this course. And so again, you don't get credits for it, but it means you don't have to take one of these courses, you can take another course. Anybody here have that? A lot of background in computer? You can come and we can give you a waiver. It means you don't have to sit through more computer courses. And so those are all of the courses that are required. You can take this chair if there's not another. Is there another chair or is this another chair? Okay. And so that's, if you add all those credits up, that's 27 credits, but you need 42. And so the other thing you need is to decide an area of specialization. Because in addition to giving you these general skills in public administration, we like our students to get a deeper knowledge and insight into an area in public administration. And so we have several specializations. And you can see these specializations that are listed. That if you subtract 27 from 42, you get 15. You're required to take 9 of those 15 credits in a specialization area. If you choose, you can take all 15 credits there, but you don't have to. You can take the other 2 courses in other PAD courses. You can take them in criminal justice. You can take writing for management, which is a course that some of you might be interested in if you think you need more practice with your writing skills. And so that's up to you, what you do with those other 2 courses. But there are several specializations that are available to the students in the public policy and administration area. One is court administration. This is for students who are interested in the administrative end of the courts. A lot of people think that to be a lawyer, to be a court administrator, you have to be a lawyer, but they probably are the worst administrators. And so, but there's a demand for court administrators with training in public administration. That's a very interesting area for jobs. Another area for specialization is emergency management. We offer a degree in emergency management. You can get an actual master's degree in emergency management. But this is a course of study for people who are interested in the administrative end. So we take advantage of the fact that we have this emergency management program here, and we have several courses in emergency management that you will be taking. The other thing we're very unique. We are the only MPA program in the world in a school of criminal justice. And so we have a very strong specialization in criminal justice policy, where several of the courses are taught by people who are in the criminal justice master's program. So both of those courses build on other parts of our graduate program. We also have we have a specialization, an interesting one, in law and public management. This is, we don't have some schools have a joint degree. This is not a joint degree. What you do is basically, the courses in your specialization are taken at the CUNY Law School, and then those courses are imported by us as your specialization, and then they go towards your graduation. Also, by the way, if you've taken courses anywhere else, graduate level courses, and you think that they're transferable, come talk to us, because we can take and transfer up to 12 credits as long as they fit in somewhere in the program. Another specialization we have, which is a very popular one, is human resources management. And this is for students who are interested in personnel management, in supervisory positions in personnel management. Another very popular specialization among students is management and operations. In fact, many people, when they think of a MPA, this is what they think about, because it basically prepares students to assume supervisory and managerial responsibilities in operational services. And when people hear an MPA, many of them think that's what it is, but we have a lot of other specializations as well. We also have a specialization that we don't really give here right now. We have a specialization in urban affairs, which we give in conjunction with Hunter. Students who take this specialization take all of their courses here, but they take their specialization courses in urban affairs at Hunter. We may in the future be offering some courses in urban policy. We have a new faculty member coming, that's her area of specialty, but at this point in time, we don't. And so that's basically the program. You take the 27 required credits, and then you have the 15 credits, of which 9 must be in one of these specialization areas. I think I got everything. Does anybody have questions on what I went over? Yes.
Where are we able to specialize in two?
You can take a dual specialization as long as you complete the requirements for both.
You said that the law and public management specialization wasn't a dual degree,
It's not a dual
but
degree.
it says here that you have to apply to CUNY Law School to get accepted.
Yes, and then you might want to speak
Well,
about that.
As a specialization, you just take the classes. We have a faculty member who will assist in coordinating you taking classes over at the law school, which then count towards your degree. If you want to use the MPA as a sort of a launching pad to get into law school, then what we recommend is that you don't take any law classes and don't take any specialization. Take everything, all but 4 classes. Go to law school, and then we'll transfer back the last 4 classes from law school, and you get your MPA. So it really, all of this, it's like we have lots and lots of choices, lots of courses, lots of choices about what you can do, and the only way you're really going to make sense of it and be able to have confidence in the choices that you're making is to sit down with MPA Advising and do a degree completion plan. They're experts in figuring out what courses you can transfer, what courses you need to take, what you want, what waivers, the whole business, and they'll lay out a 14-course degree program of study for you that takes you through the requirements and the specialization. If you change your mind, go back to them. They'll be delighted to work out a new one. But all of this can be just bewildering. But that's why we have MPA Advising. Yeah. Excuse me?
How do we get to MPA advising?
Oh, wait, no, it's a secret. Hey, MPA Advising, all one word. MPA Advising at the usual, jjay.cuny.edu. You'll reach Deborah Washington and Marie Springer. We're out of chairs. And this is Professor Juan. They will respond to you. They can talk to you on the phone. They can do this by email. You can come in. You can do it several times. But the whole idea is that you can make a plan for yourself and be confident that you understood the choices you had and you picked out the right courses, and at the end of all this, someone isn't going to say, well, you can't take this course and that course, you have to take another course, or some rule that you violate.
So you said before we take any research methods course, we have to take an undergraduate course in statistics.
Yes, in order to take research methods, you'll have to have passed an undergraduate statistics class.
Is there still time to take your hair down, Jay, before the summer program's over?
I don't think so.
No.
No. But you don't have to take it as your first course.
Oh,
But you can take it anywhere. It doesn't have to be taken here. How many of you have not taken a statistics course? So you thought you were going to get away with it, huh? Other questions?
I want to be a part-time student. I already registered for EAD 700, 702. And I was wondering if these 2 courses are going to help you to pass the exam.
The exam is not geared to the course. It's just given at the end of the course, but it is not geared. It is not based on the course. It's what we really do with that exam is really look at students' writing skills and thinking skills. It's not from information that you would pick up in the program. You'll hear more about it as you go at your EAD 700. But it was a place where we could get we've gone through a number of iterations on examinations besides classroom work. And we feel that this is working well because students take it in the beginning, and so if there are problems with writing or critical thinking, we can flag problems early and help students, rather than waiting until they get halfway or 3/4 through and then find out there are problems. Other questions?
For the recommended or required course, do you take that and then choose specialization, or do you choose it?
Well, you should think about, you don't have to choose your specialization, you should think about it, but we recommended that you try to take the required courses as soon as possible because they really prepare you for the rest of the program. Any other questions?
Is there a faculty point of contact for the urban affairs specialization?
Yes.
It
She's
would
on
be Professor Graham.
Professor Graham.
She's new.
She's new.
This year, though?
She's starting when you start.
Excellent.
Yes, she's starting when you
I
start.
think she has an email, but I'm not sure.
I don't know if it's
Yeah.
activated, but it'll be very much like this. It'll be L. Graham. But she's starting as you are starting.
She's described in the newsletter, but I'll get to that in a second.
Okay, but she's very excited about starting maybe again, I don't want to promise this, but maybe offering courses here. I'm excited about that too. Other questions?
Yeah, also that, so an advisor for each specialization that we contract?
Yes, and MPA advising will help you with all of those questions. You know, contact them quickly.
Yeah.
Contact them quickly.
Of the test that is giving the written
Right.
skill, do we have to sign up for that, or it's just
You'll
given
get-
after, right
It's
after?
just
done to you.
It's done to you.
Okay, all right, so we
It
don't.
happens in class one night.
Right. It's
And it's all explained, and it's not a test of something you know or don't know.
Right.
It's a test of writing about an article.
Yeah, we're really, again, it's really, we find out that many of the problems that students have have to do with being able to express themselves and in writing, and if we can pinpoint any problems early on, then we can find ways to help students. Rather than, we used to give exams later on, but then students have already taken so many courses, so this way we can catch and try to provide assistance early on. Other questions, anybody? This is Professor Wand. I promised him, he's in the middle of doing something, I promised him to speak for 2 minutes.
I'll be very quick. My name is Adam Want. 12 years ago, I was sitting where you were sitting as an MPA student. It's a long time ago. Seems like a long time ago. But not there. We didn't have this building. We were in a much older building. I asked Dr. Rubin for a couple minutes, selfishly, to plug my own course. There's a course that you might be interested in taking, and the course is called PAD 747. 747 like the airliner. And the reason why I like to tell students about it, it's a course in computers and technology and how they affect public management and criminal justice. And what I've found with a lot of students, and this won't mean anything to all of you, but many of you might be very interested in technology, very interested in computers, very interested in how computers and technology affect your field. And for those of you who are, one of the things that I found is besides from taking 700 as your initial course, if you take a course of something that you're really interested in, if you're really interested in technology, you're really interested in computers, it really makes a great first semester or first year experience for you. We teach the course on Wednesday night, 6:20 to 8:20 this semester. And for those of you who are interested, there are 3 sections of it. It doesn't make a difference what section you sign up for. They're all taught together in one big section. So you don't have to sign up for the one under my name. You can pick any one. It doesn't make a difference. But for many of you, I think it's a really good way to get exposure to what public management and criminal justice are about, especially those who are running around with laptops and iPhones and everything else. So I promise to be quick, so that's it. My email address, for those of you if you wanted to ask me questions about it, like all of them, is I'll just put it up right over here, then they can erase it when I leave. It's AWANDT, and all the email addresses are at jjay.cuny.edu. That was that. Thank you.
Perfect.
I have a question.
They can yell at me.
Now, is it more like theoretical, kind of course, or more like hands-on?
It's practical in that each student examines a specific type of technology and how it affects the field, and at the same time, you learn with a survey of a whole bunch of different types of technologies. Okay?
Thank you. By the way, speaking about emails, please, please, please make sure that you use your John Jay email. All of you probably have other emails, because all of our correspondence goes through this. There's a way on the site that you can have everything from the John Jay email sent to your other email. Check it on the website, but this is where everything goes. And please, every so often, check to make sure that this is not full up. Because you're going to not get notices that are very important. So I promised our faculty that I would say this to you today. So please make sure, and everybody's email will be your own name, and then at jj.cuny.edu. But please, please, please use that. Ned?
Okay, why don't we take a moment to introduce our MPA Student Association representatives. They're students, and these students, well, I'll hand it out. You go ahead.
Hi everyone, my name is Marjorie Saxena. I'm here. I'm doing the Inspector General program, and I'm specializing in investigation. So this is actually my second master's, so I'm getting, having more fun at school. So I'm the president of the MPA Student Association. We're a fairly, I don't think small student association, because the size of our student population is not that big, but we do a lot of great activities, and especially with the differential tuition funding, it's really helped us kind of, build upon what we've been able to do. And since I'm the incoming president, I've worked on some activities from the past administration, but now we have really great activities planned for the upcoming fall and spring semesters. For instance, we're planning a Washington, D.C. tour, fully funded, to bring students for like one day to kind of get a feel for the federal government. We're going to meet some people. This is going to be a little bit geared towards Inspector General students, but students from the other programs are welcome to attend as well. We have mixers, we have different career paths. We work very close with Marianne Trias, who's your MPA career director, so with whom you should definitely take advantage of. So hopefully you'll get in touch with her as well. We're here for you if you have any questions, concerns, ideas, things you want to see. We are definitely here to answer any questions, take any advice. So don't hesitate to contact us. I'll put my email up also. Crystal here, who's also an incoming student, is actually one of our secretaries. So, you have someone who's already, with you guys if you feel intimidated contacting me, but I'm very nice. I don't bite. So feel free again, I'll put my email up, and if you have any questions, I handed out bios of the whole of our executive board. We have a great executive board. They're super excited to work with you guys, and feel free again to contact us. Very important, if you want to find out what's happening in the program, again with the events particularly, add us on Facebook, add us on Twitter, LinkedIn, any social media website. If you don't have any, talk to me personally. I'll have to figure out a way. But that's the best way to know what's happening on campus. All the scholarship opportunities, all the opportunities where you get like free funding to like conferences and stuff. We advertise those, due dates, any other special opportunities, job posting, career postings. Like we have it all. We send reminders. So if you're in touch with us, we'll make sure you get all the information. So please, like us on Facebook, or you can send me an email. I'll put it up here. Okay? Any questions?
Thank you. Okay, I put up the MPA Newsletter. This comes out once a month, and this is, I would like to say, an even better source of information about the program than Facebook, but
Yes.
but really do both. We are out of chairs, but anyway, they underestimate us. We are the largest master's program in the college.
And best.
We can't one might think that the criminal justice program would be bigger, but it's not. We're considerably larger. The MPA Newsletter is at It's at mpa.jjconline.net. And because there's a student editor, I'm the faculty advisor, Because we control it, we can change it a lot faster than the college bulletin and all these other kinds of things. So for example, you have up here all kinds of curriculum advice. For example, this is the MPA-UE guide. This is a link to the guide about the MPA qualifying exam, that exam. There's also the career service lists jobs up here all the time. This is constantly posted. Similarly, there's public, that was the Inspector's General job. These are public policy and administration jobs. And so we're constantly listing jobs and interest in internships and opportunities. We have announcements up here a lot. Now, one that you need to be aware of is here, differential tuition deadlines. The financial aid, you can get $125 per course in assistance, which basically pays back a good piece of the differential tuition because we're not interested in making people's loans larger. And so we're, the financial aid, the financial assistance is designed to be available to you. You have to complete the federal financial aid form, the FAFSA, and you've got to complete it by August 1st. And what happens is if you complete the FAFSA, and there's explanations here, although you can, there's explanations on the college website too, and MPA Advising can tell you how to do the FAFSA. If you have unmet need, which means that you would theoretically qualify for more loan or one thing or another. If you have unmet need, then you can qualify for our MPA Financial Support. And you'll find that when you send in your FAFSA, you'll get an immediate notice from the state of New York that you don't qualify for anything, because it doesn't have anything for you. But that's not us. We will then, you get financial aid for having a GPA at 3.2 or above, undergraduate school or in the program. You get financial aid if you're have a military background. You get financial aid if you have a public service background. I mean, eventually, if you don't have the military background, if you don't have the GPA, you get an email from me, and we have a survey asking you to document public service that you've done in the past. And if you've done some public service of one sort or another, and believe me, you all have done something. You can't have done, if you did nothing, then you don't deserve a scholarship. But you must have done scouting, you must have done something. And some people have done remarkable things. It's amazing to read these applications, because they're brief, takes like 5 minutes to fill it out. One way or another, we want to qualify you for that scholarship. And so, so please do it. Any questions about it, go to the Mpa Newsletter and look under the announcements, and you'll see, and we'll also be putting out a new announcement with some more information about it in the next, we hope to put it out before the end of the week, and you'll get another email blast. So to keep up, use your John Jay email. That's how you hear official communications from your professor and various kinds of things. So use your John Jay email. Watch the MPA Newsletter, and you'll get announcements of new issues of the newsletter in your email, so you'll be reminded. And then also do the Facebook with the Student Association, and you will have a lot of communication about what's going on at John Jay. So as Professor Rubin explained, there are really two MPA programs. There's the MPA in Public Policy and Administration, and there's the MPA in Inspection and Oversight. You can move from one to the other voluntarily. You can change your program simply by designating an alternate specialization. So we know which program you're in based upon what specialization you're registered for. You can register for your specialization on JSTOP. There's a link up here about how to do it. If you go to MPA, you go to JShop right there. You go in and you'll see, you'll put in your email, password, and username, and you'll see that there's a graduate program specialization thing, and you can change your specialization every week. But if you're listed under a specialization, then we know to email you if there's a special urban affairs speaker. We know to email you. That's how the advisors for each specialization know who they're supposed to be in touch with, because you selected your specialization. So don't hesitate to choose one, and then you can change your mind later if you decide that something else is more interesting. The difference between the public policy and administration program is like other MPA programs around the country. Now it has more intense, as Professor Rubin said, it's got the criminal justice options, it's got a lot of depth, it's a great program. The Inspector General program, the Inspection and Oversight program, is special in that it's about overseeing public organizations, independent organizations, and publicly regulated private organizations. And so basically my slogan is, my students are going to investigate your students. Yeah. Well, it really works when you go to the big conferences, because our students are the only ones who get this kind of preparation, and they do end up doing all kinds of jobs, evaluating programs, working for legislative committees, working for corporations in corporate compliance, working for, just all kinds of roles in which they are helping an organization to understand what's going on inside and how to improve the organization. The specializations are program evaluation, investigation and operational inspection, fiscal oversight, forensic accounting, and I'll get into that in a minute, and international inspection and oversight. International inspection and oversight is largely taught by a faculty of ours with UN experience and adjuncts that we recruit from the United Nations. Because a big operation over in the United Nations is OIOS, which is its inspection and oversight operation. And we're preparing people for careers in international inspection and oversight, which can include, if you speak another language, it can include nations that speak the other language, but it's also like monitoring compliance with treaties. It's monitoring compliance with trade agreements. It's even areas like, you can buy offsets for carbon, for your carbon emissions. So like I buy offsets with what do? Some of them, they grow trees, they do other kinds of things to offset gas emissions. Well, how do you know they're really doing it? And who's checking to be sure these people aren't lying? Well, there's a foundation that's organized itself to check out the offset people. So inspection and oversight is all over the place. We also have the Association of Inspectors General housed here at the college. And that's the National Association of the Inspectors General. We put out the Inspectors General News. I'll show it to you in a minute. So it's really cool, and we've got faculty who do interesting kinds of things. Several of our faculty, I'm the monitor in the United States versus Puerto Rico. So I have an office with other faculty down in San Juan, down there late last week, overseeing compliance with a federal court order in youth corrections. And so, we inspect their abuse investigations, we inspect their staffing, we inspect their mental health care, and all of this, two of us, Jean Marie Cole and I, addressed the Association of African Inspectors General in Angola last April. We were flown to Angola, and it was cool. It was really, really neat. So there are inspectors general in Africa interested in job checking. Professor Rubin mentioned that there are two other kinds. She said there were 4 ways to take our program. There's the on-campus in the evening. There's the on-campus on Saturday. There is the National Online MPA Inspector General Program. This is a program that you complete completely online. It is the IG program offered in affiliation with the Association of Inspectors General. We have students from Russia, from Ireland, from Senegal, from Angola, from Puerto Rico, from weird places like California, and Michigan, and Florida, but we convene once a year. If you decide you want to do this, you really ought to sign up and come along, because we convene once a year at the National Conference of the Association of Inspectors General, and it's great for networking, getting to know people, getting involved with the field. But it just so happens that the fall conference where we'll be holding our classes and all going is in Clearwater, Florida, on the beach, and so it'll be very nice. And the ticket, you get a $210 round trip ticket, and we pay your registration. We pay all your meals and stuff. So it's a cool experience. Look, say you're in the National Online Program this fall, and go to Florida. Then change your mind.
I don't want him to think he's pushing his program.
Yeah. No, there is also a part of the PPA, MPA program, which is the official MPA program for the staff at the United States Military Academy at West Point. So if you're the staff at West Point, you can take John Jay's MPA program up at West Point, and you will take your Capstone class with me. Anybody else need the handout? If you live up in Rockland, or if you live in Westchester, you can take some of your classes at West Point if you want, and some here. I mean, there are students who will mix and match, but there are students who say, my gosh, it'd be closer for me to drive to West Point to take my classes than to come down here. Do it. Let me know, let MPA Advising know, and there's an administrator and a program director that really help guide you through it. And so, and there actually are students at John Jay who make a point of going up and taking at least one course up at West Point, because it's fun. I mean, you're up there in Thayer Hall, especially in the fall. I mean, it's beautiful. It's beautiful, and they're very, very interesting students. We had one student up there who, for the Capstone project, you can waive out of the Capstone if you write a journal article that gets published in a journal. And the first student to do that was one of the majors up at West Point, who happened to do that, and he's in the program, and ended up being waived from the Capstone project. And it's a pretty cool person to have in your class. So the inspector, two other, a couple other things. I mentioned the forensic accounting program. Are any of you interested in forensic accounting? Okay, have you got undergraduate accounting credits? Okay, we've simplified it. Basically, we have the only MPA program in the United States, probably anywhere, that can graduate students who are officially qualified to sit for the CPA exam. They come out as forensic accountants. And what you do the Inspector General program, and you take a selection of accounting courses as part of that, and then you graduate qualified to sit for the CPA exam under the new CPA 150 requirements. I mentioned MPA Advising. That's what you need to do. Tell them straight up that you're interested in the forensic accounting program. You register, you sign up immediately for the forensic accounting specialization in the IG program, and then eventually you get a certificate too, But if you're in the specialization, we know who you are, and we'll be contacting you, and they'll work up a degree completion plan that will include all the right classes. We also, you'll see in the newsletter, there's an article on the new, where are they? Here we have, these are the new CRJ POA students for fall. They're building this article. There's more and more of them. These are students. These are students in our doctoral track. The CUNY doctoral program in criminal justice has 3 tracks. A regular criminology track, like everybody else's, it studies like street crime and offender motivations and stuff. Then there's the forensic science track, which is the crime lab stuff. And then there's the criminal justice policy, oversight, and administration. And that's us. And if you qualify, you can go right through the MPA program, transfer 29 of your credits toward the doctoral program, and complete your PhD. If you're interested in doing that, then you need to talk to MPA Advising. They'll put you with Professor Colvin. You can learn about the requirements. It's rigorous to get in, but what happens is that you're in a doctoral program, which is like no doctoral program in criminal justice, because we're not a street crime doctoral program. We are a financial crime and corruption. Yeah. I think there's something.
Do you, excuse me, this is so mixed up on.
Something happens at 6:30, right?
Are you scheduled to go to something after this at 6:30? No. So it must be here then.
I see, they came with refreshments?
Right. So what
Good,
am I-
well, there you go, we'll bring it on in.
Why not?
We'll bring the refreshments in. So that's an option to consider if you're interested. It's very competitive, but it's worth considering. There's a new specialization in justice policy. That's an honors specialization in the IG program, in which while you're in the IG program, you start taking doctoral classes. That sort of gets you ready for the if you do the doctoral stuff if you want to, and streamlines the whole process. Now the IG program, there are 3 courses that are different. Rather than the accounting class that you take in the PPA, you take 740, which is an auditing.
No, not rather than the accounting, rather than the economics.
I'm sorry, rather than the economics class 704, you take 742, which is a forensic accounting class. Rather than the 743, which is a finance class, you take 740, which is an auditing class. And rather than 739, which is a policy analysis class, you take 758, which is a cases in inspection and oversight, which examines policy issues, but basically it's looking at cases in the field of inspection and oversight. So you might look at the Enron case, you might look at there's a really nifty case in which in this building they were trying to jimmy the cement inspections and some of the other inspections, and some of the students in this program were also working for the Department of Investigation, and they were the ones who found out about this, and they shut down the construction project for this building. That was a fun little call to the president to say, guess what my students just did? But anyway, the IG program is an interesting program. You don't have to decide what you want to do, but you can substitute. Effective this fall, rather than 702, you can take a personnel course in human resource investigation. So rather than looking at regular human resource management, you're looking at investigating sexual harassment and employment corruption and all kinds of cool things. Then rather than taking organizational theory, which is about how organizations work, you take neuropathology, which is like, it's like the illness of organizations, because that's what you need to understand. If you're going to be dealing with dysfunctional organizations, you want to understand what makes them sick. And so this is sort of like the difference between studying health and illness. This is the illness of organizations. And you can take those and count them towards either program. And so if you want to experiment with the IG side, just take 723 rather than 702 or 706 rather than 705. And if you decide you don't like it, you can switch back to the regular program. Or if you decide you do, you can do it. A couple more. Well, I've told you about MPA advising. Career counseling. You can see if you go to the newsletter, all the career counseling information is on the second line of the newsletter. So it's got the online career services, it's got announcements to jobs, and you can access individualized career counseling. We encourage our students not to think of the job thing as something you do the day after you graduate. It's something you do all the way along. And if you can get a job that's a promotion and a sort of an incremental move to what you want while you're in the program, that's great. And then finish the program part-time or whatever. But basically, we want you to think about that career project as something that starts immediately, not something that starts later on. We have internships, we have job referral situations. There's all kinds of opportunities in that area.
By the way, with the internship, remember I said that there are the 15 credits you take that are not required, 9 have to be in your specialization. One of the courses you can take is the internship course. So that would go toward, that could be one of your electives, the internship course. And we give that also in the summer. And the person who is the head of our career services is finding some very nice placements for students. He said, if you're looking for a lot of money, that's not the course to take. Some of the internships are paid, but you get 3 credits towards your degree for completing the internship. So that's another possibility for you. That's counted towards your 42 credits of graduation.
We have some really neat faculty. Professor Rubin is an expert in public finance. She's done reports reports for the city. She's been traveling. I guess the last place you were at?
Tbilisi, Georgia.
Okay, and you saw, but we have to talk about that thing about helping the MPA program in Georgia.
I'm helping the university in Tbilisi, Georgia, set up an MPA program. So that's exciting.
But you saw the thing from Ben Road.
I don't know if you could do that. We'll talk about it.
This is an announcement that AID has $745,000.
No, it's not AID. It's the
What is
government. It's a state. I know. They have almost $800,000.
I mean, she's helping them already, and now they want to pay some school $700,000 to go help, and you can go do that. Involve students in it, and I mean, this could be cool. Anyway.
They're talking about one of the things they want to do is exchange programs.
Yeah. We have, you can see in the newsletter, we always put the professor's latest books. Professor Colvin just finished a book on gay and lesbian policing. Professor O'Hara just finished a book on how police organizations fail. He's the bureaupathology professor. And he did a book that basically examines how police organizations can become dysfunctional. Professor Feldman finished a book about, it's something like how the sausage is made. It's all about the how legislation is made in Albany and how the politics of Albany works. because he was an assemblyman for about 25 years and is now here at John Jay. He was the chair of the Assembly Criminal Justice Committee. He's written a lot of the criminal justice law in New York State, and he's here to teach classes. We have Phil Zisman, who is the executive director of the Association of Inspectors General. We have, we just have a really interesting collection of faculty, and right now, we're recruiting 5 new faculty in public administration and 1 new professor in accounting. You know, most of the colleges are in trouble, you know, but we're growing. There's a demand for our programs.
The best thing is the reputation we have. We are accredited by the National Association of Schools of Public Affairs and Administration, NASPA. And when they came here, they told me a very interesting thing. They ask us to arrange a meeting for them with students. We can pick and choose. So what do? You pick your best students, right? Who are going to say the best things. But then they want to just have a meeting with students at large. They said they have very rarely heard such nice things that students have to say about how the professors care about the students. So I think that all the things that Ned is saying are very important. You want good quality education. I also think you want professors who care about you. And that's what NASPA said about us. That's what our students say. And you very rarely see, we've really never, up until now, had an advertising budget, ever. But we have one of the largest MPA programs in the United States. And a lot of our advertising comes from our own students. So I think that, and then again, I think that what Ned is saying is fantastic, and I think it's a fantastic program, fantastic faculty, but I think the fact that our students say such nice things about us is so important. And that when you walk into a classroom, we have small classes. Very few of our classes are more than 20, 22 people, and we get to know you. And I think that's very different than walking into a class where you're a number. So I don't know how many of you have come from very big schools where your faculty really doesn't get to know you, but we do here, if you want to be known. And there's some people who don't want to be known, and if you don't want to be known, it's going to be hard to know you. But otherwise, I
Well,
think...
we also have some really great adjunct faculty.
Yes.
Like we have now I'm going to forget his name, the guy in the Port Authority.
Oh, Michael Messiah was the head of the Office of Management and Budget at the Port Authority.
He teaches one of the human resource management.
Right. And he used to run the Port Authority's Human Resources Office. So,
So there's just a lot of really neat, faculty.
and these students.
So, any last questions before you call up and email MPA?
And I have no idea what happened to the requirements. So
They went away?
I have no idea where they are. But no, so it was, you know what, it was cookies and brownies. It wasn't dinner. So I have no idea where they are.
But they've got to be, I mean,
Ned?
this was supposed to be an organized, we thought that you were in some sort of event and then you were going to be herded into.
We didn't organize, we are here to tell you about the program. We did not organize this. So do not judge us on our management skills because we had nothing to do with this. We just work here. I don't know where they are.
Anyway, any questions? Yeah.
So to get individual advisement?
MPA advising
Okay.
at JJAY.
Okay.
Okay, now, what we like to do is to start with them. That's a team that does advising with students individually, and they develop a degree completion plan with you. They consult with you about your specialization. Now, it frequently turns out that you really need to see a faculty member or you really need to see a program director, and that's fine. And if you email me or email Professor Rubin, and I'll see you directly, if you really know for sure, frequently MPA advising can assemble your record and your situation in a way that allows me to be much more decisive with you. Otherwise, we spend time trying to figure everything out that MPA advising would help you document.
Well, specifically because I was told that, because I already have a master's in social work, that 30 credits was...
How many credits?
I'm sorry, 12.
Oh.
Yes,
12,
that's
not 30.
And MPA advising will actually work out precisely which ones
Right.
they are.
I don't want to take, obviously, the wrong
No,
classes.
but you don't need to see me first.
Okay.
You really need to see them first. they have a whole file on people who come from social work.
Okay.
They know exactly. No, they, no, they really,
Yeah, I don't
they do
understand
this,
what-
they do this all the time. And they will work, which ones you should transfer depends upon your specialization. It's sort of like doing your taxes. You know, that you can arrange the courses one way and it'll work better for one specialization and another way for another specialization. And so they'll advise with you about it. And then when the time comes, I have to approve it or Professor Rubin has to approve it.
Because I was under the impression today I would get it, then one-on-one advisement. But I'm not disappointed.
The 101 advisement?
One-on-one advisement, because
Oh,
because
Well-
according to the email,
No, we're here.
we're here, I don't
We're
know,
not
I
gonna
mean,
run out, we have no
I can't
refreshments.
speak for everybody.
okay. I
We're
mean,
here, so,
that's not what we usually do.
wait, just excuse me, what were you told that you were gonna get what today?
Advisement and registration.
Yeah.
Who told you that?
The email.
And the email said what?
Advisement and registration today.
We never got that.
I mean, we could line you up and be here until midnight. I mean, this doesn't, but
If
it
you have
doesn't work.
questions,
I
we
mean,
will
the
be here
best
today.
thing to do is to get with MPA Advising. They'll work out your course of study, they'll register you, and anything you need to do that involves me or Professor Rubin, we'll do it. And we'll do it with you. I'll meet with you. But it's gonna work much better if you work with them first, and registration you do online. You know, I can't actually register you in this room. This will work much better, I promise you. If you communicate with MPA Advising, and they'll help you set up your course of study. And then if there's something that you're uncomfortable with, or if there's a question they think, you know, let me know, or they'll let me know, and we'll work it out. Yeah.
Is it a kind of advisement where you come in and sit one-on-one?
Yes.
Okay. Because
Sure.
I come all the way from like Southbrook, so I just want to know, you know, when I come here that I
Yes, you can make a specific appointment with a human being. And the human being will really work with you. There'll be things that
I'm
they
advising
want.
myself, so I kind
Okay,
of know.
all right, yeah.
Professor Rubin, the PAD 739 called totally different from the policy.
It might be something different. Well, where do you see it?
I registered for 739 and it says, I guess it's a political setting.
As a first
It's an old
course?
name.
It's a different, it's an old name.
Old name for the course.
What is it?
Yeah, same course. Our courses have lots of names,
Okay, that's okay.
but they have the real name, and then there's lots of, yeah.
Do you mind elaborating a little more in the differential tuition? And you said that we had to submit the application before August 1st.
Yeah, okay. The differential tuition is you pay 15% more than people in the protection management or criminal justice or forensic science or any of these other programs. We didn't advocate for that. But we are going to make the best of it. That's the bad news. The good news is that the money is invested in this program. There's a committee that works on spending it to try to spend it in ways that would be satisfactory to you. The MPA Student Association is represented on the committee. And what we decided early on was to take half the money and give it back. We did a poll of the students, and basically the students said, we said, what should we do with the money? And they said, give it back. And so basically that's the first thing, is we have the financial aid. In order to get it, step one is you've got to fill out a FAFSA. FAFSA, which is the Federal Free Financial something or other form. If you don't know what that is, email MPA Advising and they'll tell you what to do. And if you're not sure whether you completed it, and if you're not sure that any questions about this, MPA Advising is going to have lists of the status of people with respect to their FAFSA. so that they're tracking whether it's, because there's tricky things about the FAFSA form, like you fill it out, you spend a half an hour, well, 15 minutes filling it out, and then there's like a thank you, and then over here there's a now push this in order to submit it. And if you think you were done when it said thank you and didn't press the button about submitting it, it never goes. And so that's why you really do need to like close the loop with MPA advising. And then what happens is if you qualify for the scholarship, it's deducted off your tuition bill. And if the decision is made after you paid your tuition, because sometimes it doesn't get worked out until September, you get a check in the mail. But you get it if you qualify for it.
And that's not like check is in the mail. It's a real check.
The other things we do with the differential tuition, one is to buy the textbooks. Our theory was that we wanted for a good chunk of the students, for the students to be paying less total program cost than the students who didn't get the differential tuition. So figure that if your textbooks are going to cost you $100, $200, and you know we're giving them to you from the library, and you're not paying for them at all, then we're saving you more money for the class where you got the textbook than the differential tuition that you had to pay, in some cases. And so the more we do that, the more we can save you. So if you got the differential tuition financial aid and you got a bunch of your books free, you can look over at those people in criminal justice and tell them that you're paying less. But furthermore, you're getting the career advisor, and that's really useful. The MPA advising program is some of it is paid for by that. The newsletter is paid for by that. We have free workshops that are paid for by that. We have a program where if you want to deliver a paper at a conference, we'll pay the registration for the conference, and we'll pay the we'll pay a part of the cost of going there. We want our students to be represented at the conferences in the city, in the region, at the Inspectors General Conference. At the, we will invest in you. And so, so I think overall we're trying to make the differential tuition a good deal. But the perception was that MPA programs are worth more. That was the university's perception.
The MPA degree is
that the
worth more.
MPA degree is worth more over your career. And so they went ahead and raised the prices for the MPA degree university-wide. And nevertheless, we're still less expensive, substantially less expensive than any of the other MPA programs out of CUNY in the region. You just look anywhere, we're way under anybody else. But
I think you all know that.
But we're reinvesting that money, and if you have any questions about it, first of all, you have student representatives on the committee. Second of all, the budget is posted up here. There's an audit and evaluation of it going on this summer that's going to be posted, so you'll get to see exactly how the money is spent, and we want it to be spent in a way that you agree with.
And please do not judge us on the events of today. I don't mean on our presentations, but on the class, and there are people outside that just got here now because they couldn't find the room.
MPA?
Yes.
The room number was
And so we knew what you knew. In fact, I came over a little after Ned, and he was sitting on the steps in the front. He didn't know where to go.
Well, I figured there would be someone in the lobby that would say, welcome, and here's
We
where
all
your
figured
room
it.
is, and here's
So,
where your room
but
is.
don't judge us with our administrative skills. It's a good program. I hope you all enjoy it. And if any of you have any questions to ask of us, we're not running out. So come up and ask us.
And maybe we want to split up, and one of us go out to the hall for the questions. And how many people are out there?
There were 4, I think.
Oh, okay, all right. I was going to say.
No, but one of them was almost crying. I mean, she said, she just got here. And all we were told was to be here in this room at 5:30. we knew.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yes.
Just to let everyone know that I'll be around also if you have any questions. And also to add that if you are interested in getting involved in student life, the Graduate Society is looking for 2 representatives that we haven't been able to fill yet. So if you really want to get involved, let me know.
You mean,
For the actual graduate, the whole Graduate Society, we're looking for actual representatives. Represent that MPA.
well, we love to have the MPA program students embedded in student government at all levels, because they become very influential in all sorts of other committees of the college.
Let me ask you a question. You were expecting one-on-one. Did we help you with a lot of your questions?
Yes.
Okay.
And if you really do want one-on-one with me or Professor Rubin,
We have this.
we
all
will
of us-
meet with you.
Right, and we all have the same email. So I am Marilyn Rubin at jj.cuny.edu, and he is N Benton, BENTON at jj.cuny.edu, and we're both on the website. So
My advice is to start with MPA advising, but that's not I'll meet with you and we'll figure it all out. Okay.